Having a crisis with your online business? We have the solutions for you. Check out betterrecallkung.com.
Hey everyone, my name is Kung and welcome to betterrecallkung.com, your e-business crisis management consultant. Now I'm sure a lot of you guys are like my friends. They go online, they do e-sales, they do e-commerce, and they do really well and they work hard. And suddenly a Dmca takedown letter arrives and they have no clue what it is or what to do about it. So pay attention because it could potentially save your business. In 10 minutes, I'm going to demystify Dmca takedown letters. So let's start a little bit about me. I'm a barrister solicitor in New Zealand High Court. I did my professional studies at College of Law, and I was previously an in-house lawyer with Citibank. I've got a double degree in law and arts, and currently I'm freelancing this e-business crisis management consultancy. Now, just as a general disclaimer, all information and forms are provided as is without any warranty of any kind, express, implied, or otherwise, including as to their legal effect and completeness. They are therefore for general guidance and should be modified by you and your attorney to meet your specific needs and the laws of your state. Please don't take any of this to be legal advice. So let's get started. Basics you need to know. Today I'm going to cover Dmca, what is copyright, what is infringement, why do web hosts care about copyright infringement, how to send a Dmca, and more importantly, how do you respond to Dmca legally and extra legally. So a Dmca stands for the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. It's the United States copyright law that implements two 1996 treaties of the World Intellectual Property Organization, WIPO. And what is the point of a Dmca? Well, as you know, technology has made things really easy to publish. So you can post and blog from anything like your phone or your computer. And this has made it even easier to breach copyright. So the Dmca was initially created to protect copyright owners in cyberspace from breach of copyright. Do note that there are many reasons to remove content, but today we're mainly going to cover copyright takedown letters, which begs the question of what is copyright. Copyright is the exclusive and assignable legal right given to the originator for a fixed number of years to print, publish, perform, film, or record literary, artistic, or musical material. In plain English, this means if you're the creator of something, you should be the only one to decide what to do with it. If anyone else wants to do something with that creation, they need to ask you for permission. So if copyright refers to the right to print, film, perform, distribute, publish, sell, and many other things, when somebody uses content without permission for any one of these things, essentially they're breaching copyright. So the test for copyright infringement is basically, has someone taken a substantial amount of the expression of an idea? You see, this is entirely different from an idea itself. That's patent law, and another subject matter for a different time. Think of it more like if you're baking a cake, it's not the idea of baking a cake, but the cake that actually comes out. It's the expression of something, the literary text, the color combinations, the manifestation of the idea. Some scholars have defined it as the author's sweat of the brow. So always ask yourself when you're creating content, is this content a substantial copy of the expression of an idea or somebody else's hard work? Now, why exactly do web hosts and gatekeepers care about Dmcas? It's to do with a concept called safe harbor provisions. Now, you see, a safe harbor provision protects them completely against liability for copyright infringement, but in order to benefit from the safe harbor provision, they must first comply with the terms and conditions in them. So, for example, section 512, upon notification of the claimed infringement, they gotta respond expeditiously to remove or disable access to the material that is claimed to be infringing. Now, each country's got its own version and interpretation of how this works, and this is just a US example, but it explains why web hosts are so quick to respond to Dmcas. You see, they want to benefit from these safe harbor provisions, and it's better for them to remove it immediately as opposed to running the risk of being sued for allowing it to occur. Now, how exactly do you send out a Dmca notice? Well, the first step you gotta do is you need to find the correct category. There's number 1, social media websites, there's blogging sites, there's journal websites, and 4, there's business sites. And once you found the right category, you should look up their help center, because more often than not, they'll have Dmca templates ready for you to use. So take Instagram here, for example. If you head to their help center, you can just pick and choose a takedown letter. So here we're gonna pick copyright infringement. Now, some information you need to know before you submit a notice. When you submit a claim for copyright infringement, you're going to have to disclose your complete contact information, a description of the copyright work that you claim has been infringed, description of the content on the site that you claim infringes your copyright. You're going to need to provide URLs. You're you're going to need to provide a declaration that you've good faith to believe that the copyright content described above and the manner you've complained of is not authorized by the copyright owner, its agent, or the law. Your notice has to be completely accurate as well, and you have to declare under penalty of perjury that you have the authorization to take up this claim. On top of that, they're going to require from you e-signature. Now, a good trick to remember, guys, always use your business contact details, not your personal details. The reason being that some gatekeepers will regularly provide your contact information, including your name and email address, name of your organization, to the person who posted the content that you are reporting. Now, he's going to be quite pissed off because the takedown letter is effectively going to stall his whole business. Might not be a good idea if he knows where you live. Alright, fundamental things that you should be aware of. By submitting a notice, you declare under penalty of perjury that all of the information contained in this notice is accurate and that the use of your IP described above in the manner you have complained is not authorized by the rights of the owner, its agent, or the law. So let's break that down. Number 1, submitting a false claim is perjury. Number 2, even if you submit a claim that is likely to succeed, there's a risk of a counter notice and a countersuit, which could lead to civil action for damages and lost opportunity costs. Furthermore, you gotta be 100% sure that you're the copyright owner or the agent of the copyright owner to file a notice. Now, if you by some chance are not the copyright owner, or you discover that you're not the copyright owner, you've in fact infringed it yourself, that's dangerous because you could potentially be facing a takedown letter as well. Now lastly, each jurisdiction has your own interpretation as to copyright infringement, so it can be highly technical, it can take a lot of time, and it can be very expensive if you choose to go to trial. Alright, let's recap the basic elements you need for a notice. 1, you need ownership, you must be the owner of the copyright. Or 2, if you're not the owner, you're an agent with permission on behalf of the copyright owner. 3, accuracy. You can't have a notice that's based on fabricated information. And 4, permission. You did not give permission expressly or impliedly for the copyright infringement. Be mindful that sometimes if you work in a partnership, your partner and you, they can argue that there was a deemed implied permission. Alright, so let's look at available responses to a DMCA. I'd categorize into 2 options, a legal response and a non-legal response. So turning to the first, which is legal response, personally I would serve a counter notice. Unless the person originally served me has been informed that formal legal proceedings have been issued, then they should restore access to that video after receipt of the counter notice. Some gatekeepers like YouTube, Facebook, they have links to serve counter notices, so you should look out for their help services for templates. But do note that counter notices, they take longer than the actual takedown letters themselves. You could also request for information regarding your notice. That could be a lawyer's letter, and you could send it to the counterparty, and it will help to make things clear on why there was infringement. If you're not happy with a response, then you could file a lawsuit. But a lawsuit will take a lot of time and effort because, as I said before, intellectual property regarding copyright infringement can be very technical, which is why we should consider a non-legal response, right? So under that, the first and most easiest thing you could do is just to remove the material that's infringing copyright and replace it with non-infringing copyright material. I'd probably follow that out with an apology letter, just stating that was a misunderstanding and a miscommunication. But if you insist on keeping the material going, then try and negotiate for a partnership with the person or negotiate a settlement, because oftentimes it's all about a business. He wants to make money, you want to make money. But if you can make money together, then you guys are going to work together. And oftentimes that's the case. He just wants to reap the benefits of his hard work. And by doing this, you create an opportunity for him and for you. Also, you could try and negotiate for a license. Sell the idea to him that you're a loyal customer. You got a huge base. And with this license, you'll have a term to use it, but do note that there are terms and conditions and it might not be exclusive. With that, I will conclude today's session. Thanks guys, and I'll be launching soon bettercallkung.com. Now if you want more information regarding DMCAs, please look out for my bundle. I will cover in more depth how to do it yourself DIY takedown letters, counter takedown letters, and how to respond in such scenarios. At bettercallkung.com, you will find other products and bundles for e-commerce that may help. As usual, all bundles will address legal and non-legal solutions to everyday e-commerce problems. However, if you have something or anything that you want me to cover in particular, do drop me a personal message and I'll do my best to address it in a bundle. Link up with me on Becker's board or Facebook, and I offer consultation services too. Anyway, I look forward to work with you guys, and don't get blindsided by DMCA ever again. Alright, take care.